Hey you, how you doing today? I'm coming to you to talk about ways to improve your leadership self-confidence. And I got my coffee here today, getting the day started, and I am working on my commitment to being on YouTube more often and working my way up to daily and working my way up to lives. So, takes a lot of courage, but my clients keep telling me that I need to be doing more of this so that I can share myself with the world in essence and stop being like this their secret, right? Helps me, helps them, helps you. We're all here to share, right? I learn so much from them. They learn so much from me. And they're like, girl, you need to get out there. So here I am talking to you about 7 ways to improve your leadership self confidence. But before I even talk about that, I went home last week to be honored by my university, and I'm so super proud. I'm going to put up some pictures on LinkedIn and on my social media to show some of the ceremony. But I am so honored to have been honored by Arcadia University as a woman who leads at the Women Who Leads Forum. And it's an honor. 5 of us were honored, and I am, humbled to be amongst the five. And I gave a nice TED talk and had a lot of fun. And I had the most family there, of course, so supportive. I love all my aunts and my relatives and my friends. My best friends came out. So, ladies, you are unmatched. You always show up, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be a woman who leads. But so, all right, so here's what else happened. Interesting. Every time I go home to Pennsylvania, I'm a Philly girl. I get sick. I get like allergies galore. Oh my gosh. I was so sick. And it kind of like was a little bit of a heavy damper on the whole occasion because I don't think anybody could really tell, but I did not feel 100% LaVada. I pushed through anyway. And I'm glad I did because I think I did all right. They said I did all right, but um, yeah. So I'll get put more information up about that, and I think my aunt recorded the TED talk, so I'll get some clips and so forth. But it was a great time. So thanks again, Arcadia. You rock, Philly. You rock. Go Eagles. All the things, right? And go everybody. You know what I mean? Like go Eagles, but go all the teams because I just love you. Love y'all. But anyway, let's get down to these 7 ways that you can build your leadership self confidence. And I think, that a lot of these leadership principles, most of them, if not all of them, apply to multiple areas of life, right? Multiple areas of your life, multiple areas of everybody's life, right? Things that we've learned over the years that can be applied in leadership and just in general, right? As we navigate the world, navigate the complexities of, being human beings, right? And so I'm coming from a place of leadership because that's my lens. And that's where I help people to thrive, to be better, and to not take the work home with them, so that they can go home, be present with their families. If you have young children, you don't want to carry this stuff. You don't want to carry this stuff. You want to go in there and be the kind of leader that helps teams to be accountable. Ooh, my nose is itching. Go take them. Helps teams to be accountable for their own development, right? Every individual is accountable for their own development. Therefore, um, committed to being the best, right? And even to the point where you develop the skills, like if you don't want to be the best, then move on, right? Because this team is succeeding and thriving and supporting each other. And we don't feel the heavy burden of work. Um, we feel the collaboration and the light synergy that comes from having a good team, right? So I want you to be okay at work. I want you to be okay after work. I want you to be okay On vacation, I want you to be able to let these things go. And these skills that I'm teaching you um, are meant to do just that. Like, that's my ultimate purpose, is to get you to a place where you're not carrying the burdens of work home with you. Right. So, all right, I'm going to 7 ways to build your leadership confidence. Number one, pour into yourself. You got to pour into yourself. So, what do you mean by that? I mean that you need to be focused on your self care first, right? What's important for you? How do you pamper yourself? How do you create balance in your life so that you can know when to check in with yourself, right? Know when your battery is low, right? So that you have a go-to for restoration, right? You have to pour into yourself in a way that protects you, right? So, one of the ways that I pour into myself is I make sure that I have at least a um a weekly bubble bath, right? I turn on my jets, I put on my soft jazz, I might light some candles, but I got to do that at least once a week. And I tell you, I really should do it more often. But I got to pour into my own relaxation, you know? I have a spa membership. I go to the spa at least once a month, if not more than that, right? The next time somebody asks you, what kind of Christmas gift do you want? Be like, get me a membership to a spa or pay for half of it or something, right? Or, if it's a family gift, have them go in on your monthly membership so that you can know that, hey, this day right now, I need to go get a massage. I need a break. So I'm gonna take it. And all I have to do is schedule it. I don't have to think about it at all because I have a membership. And at my spa, it's not too far from my home. I can go there anytime I want just to use the facility. So it's not even about just, you're scheduling a massage or a facial or a foot scrub or whatever, which is great. And I have at least one of those a month that's in my membership, right? And I have an option to just kind of go get in a jacuzzi, girl. And I can also just go sit by the little fireplace over there. And I mean, I have like nice things in my home, but it's nothing like separating yourself from the space where you work, because for many of us, if you work from home like me, home is a place of work too. And while I do create my own little oasis of serenity around my house and I don't kind of let work invade that, um, hey, I just need to get away or get outside for a minute. And the spa, listen. And also, I read an article that says that when you sweat your body, um, it helps you to get rid of toxins. So just sitting in the like steam room, right? Like, if you are like me and you're going through menopause, your body has no problem sweating, um, anyway, right? But which is a good thing because you're getting rid of toxins, right? But it feels not so good when you're having a hot flash. But letting go of those toxins and sweating your body is a good thing. And I just sometimes I just go sit in the steam room like, whew, I need a minute. Right. So pouring into yourself. You know, y'all share some ways you pour into yourself so you can give other folks that are listening and some ideas. But another thing I do is, sometimes just take the dog for a walk. Just me and Coda, my little golden doodle. We just out enjoying a walk, and not a strenuous walk either. Not like, oh my gosh, I gotta lose 20 pounds. I gotta climb this mountain. It's like, yo, the mountain or the hill is too high, or too steep for you. Just walk on a flat surface. It's really just about you pouring relaxation into yourself, right? Um, you know, just read a book. Just read a book that you've been wanting to read. Listen to it on audio. It's the same thing, whether you listen to it or read it. The ultimate goal is to get the information into your brain, into your heart, right? Into your memory. So listen to a book, read a book, listen to your favorite music. Another thing I like to do is sometimes just binge watch a Netflix show. I'm a real big YouTube binge watcher now because I feel like so much else is BS now. I just want to hear from people sharing their stories and sharing their life just like I'm doing now. I just want to hear from people. I just want to hear people tell me about their travel adventures and things like that, things that I want to do to so I could know what else I could do to pour into my life, right? Um, the other thing I like to do is travel. I love to travel. You see here on my YouTube channel that I've posted some of my travel. I'm trying to post more um, because that's a pour into me, right? And you notice I'm starting out with this, right? I'm starting out with this because if you're stressed out and you don't have an outlet, and I mean, you don't have a plan for an outlet, not just haphazardly, like I said, get that membership, plan that travel, schedule that bath every week, right? If you're stressed out, you can't do the other six things I'm about to tell you to do. Okay. So start with how am I going to make sure that when I have those stressful moments, when I have those stressful days, when I have those stressful situations that come up at work with teams, because after all, in leadership, you're being paid to solve problems. That's what any job is. Any job is a problem, and you're being paid to solve it, right? But in leadership, that's really your job to sometimes seek out problems in that you're seeking out better ways of doing things, right? So you got to be full, I mean, full, like full of relaxation, full of energy, full of restoration in order to be fully there, right? So pour into yourself, right? Pour into yourself. And all of the things that work for you, do it. Some people like to go shopping, time with family is another big one for me. Time with my daughters, time with my boo, right? All of those things are so important. And they seem like they're secondary, but I put it first for a reason because it's first. Take care of you, okay? Take care of you. I'm checking in with you. Do you take care of you? Take care of yourself. Number one, pour into yourself. All right, you got it? You sure? Don't make it second, make it first. Okay. All right. No guilt about it. Pour into you. All right. Um, the second one, building your leadership confidence. Second one, surround yourself with people who believe in you. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. And I mean, at all different levels of life, right? So, people professionally who believe that you can achieve your goals, good people, right? Just good people who want to pour into you and think about that in all areas of your career level, right? In all areas of your life. So, what do you mean by that? So, like, if you're a leader and you're navigating the complexities, say, of being a new supervisor, right? Or being a new manager, then surround yourself with someone who is maybe in your field that is already a supervisor or a seasoned manager. Like find yourself somebody good. Doesn't necessarily have to be at your job, because sometimes people don't want to share everything. You don't want your job to, maybe you don't want the mentor, the person that you um, really mentor with and go to your challenges with to be right there in your department. I don't know what the cultural nuance is, right? So I just giving you some options and letting you know that it doesn't always have to be right there in your job, right? And there are ways to find people like that if you don't already have people in your network, and we're going to talk about that later on. But you want to surround yourself with people who have like experiences and who are good people, right? And people who believe in you. right? So we're surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, right? And then, it could be unpersonal, right? Like you got that aunt, I have cousins and aunts that believe I can do anything. I'd be like, come on now, y'all. They'd be like, we know you can conquer the world. And I'd be like, can I? And I mean, it had me convinced, right? My aunts had me convinced that I could be all I can be, right? And here I am, confident enough to talk to you. So I guess I bought into it, right? I guess I believed them, right? Convinced that I'm the best, right? You got to get yourself around people like that, man. And if even if you start, if you're a big YouTube listener and there are people in your um in your area of expertise, like maybe you are listening to me and you're somebody that's in my space or somebody that's in HR or something, and you like reach out to people that you think might encourage you. Like even if you meet them through your YouTube community, right? Your YouTube family, like reach out and be like, let's connect, let's talk. I don't have people around me that really express or show that they believe in me or who've been through what I've been through. I mean, that's fair, right? Um, so that might be like, professionally, right? And then personally, again, like um your aunts, your cousins, your friends, right? People who believe in you, surround yourself with them. And because they're going to be, when you want to go low, they're going to be like, nah, sis, nah, bro, that's not you. You're not quitting. What does that even look like? What does that feel like? They're going to challenge you to keep going because they actually genuinely believe in you, right? That's crazy. Like I had friends that, when I would feel like I'm down and I want to quit, they'd be like, yeah, but I remember my friend Janine, she said to me, but yeah, but you smart. You're just smart. You just always been smart. You figure it out. And I'm like, okay, I guess she's like, right. I guess I'll figure it out, you know? Um, and you need people that just, I mean, genuinely and authentically believe that about you surrounding you, right? You gotta get yourself around good people. And you gotta start questioning yourself. You gotta be like, if what LaVada is saying I find to be difficult, then who am I surrounding myself with? And how can I like fix that? Um, because, you gotta be careful what is being spoken into your spirit, right? And things that are spoken into your spirit need to be positive. It's enough negativity in the world, right? You don't have to choose to be around negativity, right? You don't have to choose that, okay? So that leads me to number three, right? So number one was pour into yourself, right? Number two, surround yourself with the good people who believe in you, the good people who believe in you. And number three, y'all probably gonna know what number three is because I'm walking right into it. Get rid of the bad people. Get rid of the bad people, y'all. Like, you gotta be like, first of all, you gotta put definitions around that, right? Now, I just gave you some definitions about how good people who believe in me sort of lift me up and have told me things about myself over the years when I even felt discouraged that encourage me, right? So then bad people do the opposite. They do the opposite. They're bad people. And I'm not trying to um even give you like a whole explanation as to why. It doesn't even matter. Like they got to deal with their own shit. Let them deal with their shit. And all that negativity that they bring to your world, that's about them. That is not about you. When they say things to you like, well, nobody gets to do that. Or, you should be glad. What you complaining about? Like, or, well, I don't know why you think you can do those things anyway. I don't know. Like, it's so hard for me to even think of bad things to say because it's not in my spirit. Like I have difficulty thinking about anything that I can say bad to people about their goals and their success and so forth because I'm happy and encouraging and I believe in you. You're sitting here watching this video because you want to you want to improve yourself. You want to increase your ability and your confidence around leadership. So I believe in you. It's so hard for me to even come up with something bad to say, but people, y'all, can be negative, and you know who they are. You know who they are. They want to complain about their lives, right? They don't want to give you a chance to even talk about your life because they're so busy concerned with you serving them, right? They always have a need, right? And they never want to sow a seed. I'm a rapper now. They always have a need and never want to sow a seed. Okay, no, I'm not a rapper. Back that up. But listen, they don't add unto you. They're not adding unto you, then they are subtracting. There's negative and positive. Negative and positive, right? And if they're not positive, then they're negative and they're pulling away from you, right? And how much do you have? How much battery do you have that you have the time to allow negativity to pull away from you? Why? Why are you allowing it? Let people have their stuff, right? So, go ahead, make a list. Make a list of, you know, all those people you should get rid of. And, if it's a family member or someone that you have to tolerate every now and then learn how to separate yourself and your psyche from their comments, right? Learn how to separate that. And one good way to do that is to surround yourself with so many good people, right? The majority of good people that when somebody negative comes into your purview or says something to you, it just rolls right off. You're just like, yeah, I'm not part of that tribe. I'm gonna go over here with my tribe. My tribe is positive. My tribe is positive. And if I'm finding that it's not, then I need to make a change, right? So I can't be a confident leader, right? If I'm always listening to negativity, right? Can't do it. It's impossible, right? Stop swimming against the current, you know, flow with the folks that want to be, impactful in their field and impactful in the world, right? All right. So I gave you three. And I'm telling you, these leadership tips, they, um, they transfer over into all areas of life, right? Because for me, leadership is life, life is leadership, and it all meshes together, right? Okay. All right. You with me? Now, this one is a little more specific to like work. The third one is, first is surround yourself. Pour into yourself, number one, right? Number two, surround yourself with people who believe in you. Number three, get rid of the bad people, right? Number four is a little more specific to like work and work development. Join clubs and organizations within your practice, right? So you want to join clubs and organizations um, to get practice, right? And if you can, like, start with the clubs and organizations that are within your industry or practice, right? So, uh, for example, for me, since I have a learning and development firm, since I'm in HR, since I have an entrepreneur, since I'm a woman, I belong to like women entrepreneur organizations. I'm associated with organizations that have to do with learning and development, right? I go to conferences that have to do with public speaking and learning and development and women and leadership and all that. So I'm just, I'm outside. I'm outside, as my daughter would say. You got to get outside, right? And you got to join organizations to help you because you got it. Like if you're finding that you're not around enough positive people in your space, in your industry, at your professional level, if you're new to management and new to leadership, get involved with organizations that will help you get around people who are thinking the way you think, right? We're looking for the people who are looking for us. I say it all the time, right? So get yourself around people who are thinking like the stuff we're talking about right now, right? Get involved with those organizations. Start doing your research. Make a list. and start with, things that are, I want you to expand beyond your way of thinking, expand your scope. But start with who you start here. Start like, okay, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, right? Or start with, hey, I'm a guy. I'm a guy in my 30s, right? Where would I fit in? What kind of organizations would interest me? I like to read a certain type of leadership book. Where's that leadership expert? Where's she speaking? What clubs does she belong to? Maybe I'll go hear her speak. And then I'll join that organization or I'll go to that conference, right? You have to, and I guess I should have said this, like this is I should have said invest in clubs and organizations because you have to make the investment. Joining is an investment, right? I invest a lot in my education. I paid $10,000 to go to a conference before so I could be around like-minded people who are thinking that. I think that's probably the most I paid. And I've been paid, upwards of $10,000 to speak at conferences, which is amazing, right? Do you know that conference that I paid $10,000 to speak at? I met a colleague. We worked together on projects for at least 2 years, and I made over $20,000 working with her. Right? I made over $20,000 working with her. I was able to continue working with people who were associated with her. Right? So I more than tripled my dollars because I invested in that conference. Not to mention that the knowledge and the skill set that I carried from the conference was also applied to different areas of my business. But I knew that if I was going to spend that much money to attend a conference to develop myself, which, by the way, was much less than a college course, an undergrad college course, right? I knew that I had to walk out of that conference with some partners and some ways to make that money back. Plus, that was the plan before I went into it, right? I don't expect anybody to invest in me. Nobody's going to invest in my career. I'm not going to, and they're not going to do it at your. If you listen, if you're at a job back in the day when I was first out of undergrad, my corporation that I was a part of paid for me to go to everything, like all kinds of certifications, all kinds of conferences, and so forth. If your company is paying for that, take advantage of it. But in many cases today, they're not flowing with the benefits the way they used to do it back in the day, the early 2000s when I was out here in corporations. They were just throwing money at development. It's a little tighter now because of the economy. Do it yourself. Don't wait around for somebody to approve for you to go to some conference. Do it yourself. I remember I have a friend. Shout out to you, friend. I remember one year we were going to a conference and her company was facing some financial setbacks or financial restrictions. And this conference that she would go to every year, she they didn't pay for her to have a full ticket that year, but she got there and I think she might have even had to pay for it herself that year. And I had a full conference ticket because I was working at the time. I was working for a university and they paid for the full conference, right? So me and her, we shared the full conference ticket, right? She's like, listen, don't come down here without your badge because I already signed in as you. So I told them I forgot my badge and I signed in as you. So if you come, they just gonna know you got a badge on. Just walk on in, but don't give them your name. Hilarious, right? I'm like, girl, do what you gotta do, right? But we were there and we shared that conference together that year because, you know, we wanted to be there to learn. You got to do what you got to do. You got to be in the house. You got to show up. You have to show up because nobody is going to show up for you. And your job is not their responsibility to develop you. Right. So, how you going to find the good people, like-minded people who believe in you career-wise and so forth and can help you and support you and be there with you? You got to connect. You have to connect and you need to stay connected. Once you get connected, they need to know that you're there supporting them as well. It's a ship, it's a relationship, right? Goes back and forth. Okay. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. The next way for you to build your leadership self-confidence is to get more knowledge in the space in your space, and it kind of like meshes with what I was just talking about by joining organizations and investing in you is kind of a good segue in. um you have to I'll go back to what I said. You have to invest in your own education, right? But I'll take it and make it a little more specific. You need to do the research, right? So that you know what it takes for you to elevate in your career, right? What it takes for you to sustain your career, grow your leadership. What changes are happening? You have technology out here, you have AI out here. How is your industry changing, right? And what's the next thing? Suppose your particular industry starts to fade out because of AI. What knowledge do you need to stay relevant, right? To stay in leadership and to grow your leadership skills. So get more knowledge, get more information, invest in your education, get the skill set. You know, I'm always having to get more knowledge around social media, marketing strategies, learning and development strategies, new platforms. I mean, it just goes on, right? I am constantly pouring into myself in terms of knowledge and information. And in my field, of course, I'm learning and development. So how am I going to teach anybody anything if I don't keep learning? Right? It just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't compute. I can't be out here just doing what I was doing in 2018 when I started my business and just throwing up some PowerPoints and talking. That was fine for back then, right? Now my audience wants more. I have learning platforms for them. I have newsletters. I have this YouTube channel. Um, there's so much, right? That you need to constantly learn. I have guides they can buy online. And the information about how to grow and succeed and flourish is everywhere. It's everywhere. Go, like my daughter says, go to YouTube University. Hey, what's new in, medical technology right now? That's your field. Google it and listen to people, right? And get as much knowledge as you can, right? Stay informed. Get that certification if you need it. Check out LinkedIn. Maybe you're not looking at opportunities now, but if it's something in the future that you think you're interested in, what are they asking for? What are they asking for as a criteria? Do you have it? And that's another thing that kind of like goes back into like joining organizations and so forth, because those organizations have conferences where they're keeping you up to date with the trends in your industry, right? So go on and get more knowledge, right? Because nobody's going to tell you to do that. Again, nobody's going to tell you to invest in yourself. You got to do it, right? So when I'm teaching educating and giving people tips on how to improve in a particular topic, and I give them a resource, right? Or I tell them to go, they should take a training or join this organization. Say they want to learn more about conflict resolution, for example. And I'll say, hey, in order for you to expand on your learning, I have a course in conflict resolution. You can make sure that you get all the critical items. Like I might be teaching a class for 90 minutes. Obviously, I can't give you all the content that's on my online platform in 90 minutes. I watch to see like which managers in this group are really going to invest their own dollars, in a $79 course. It's like a $79 course, right? So it's interesting. And I see which ones take the initiative, right? Those are the ones that I know are coachable, that I can spend more time with, right? That are really dedicated. And a lot of times, when I'm teaching or if I'm working with a client, the CEO might come back to me and say, how was everybody in the class? Who stood out? Who did what? And I'd be like, Michelle really stood out. And not only did she stand out and participate, she went and expanded on her learning. when I recommended it. She bought the book. She bought the class. People notice. And I don't even know all the time, how my clients, a lot of them that are in my classes, they don't realize how often their bosses will ask, who showed up, who participated, who said something intelligent. Because I'm thinking about who to promote, and I'm like, okay. And a lot of times we'll have that discussion beforehand, like, let me know who is standing out, LaVada, in this group, because I have to make some critical decisions. And I'm often part of that. People are watching you, right? So don't wait around for someone to tell you to get more knowledge. Okay. That's lazy leadership. Real leaders are always learning, always learning, always learning, always learning, always learning. Okay. All right. Let me go over what we just talked about, because we're talking about 7 ways to build your leadership confidence. The first one was pour into yourself, pour positivity into yourself, right? Pour into yourself daily. The second one was surround yourself with good people, right? The third one was get rid of the bad people. Get them out of here. Out of here. The fourth one was join clubs and organizations so that you can get practice, and join clubs and organizations that are in your industry of practice, right? So you can get practice. Okay. And then the next one was um, get more knowledge in your spaces, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. Get more knowledge in your spaces, right? So get more knowledge, get more information, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see. Number 6. Number 6. Y'all ready? Um, Number 6 is stop underestimating yourself, right? Stop underestimating yourself. Okay. You can do it. You can do all the things that I just mentioned. Okay. Sorry, my ears are a little itchy. Stop underestimating yourself. Um, there is so much in so many ways that we stop ourselves from succeeding. I could say stop underestimating yourself, or stop overthinking, I guess is another way to put it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Like I'm giving you some tips, and what I'm doing is really helping you to think about developing new habits, right? And if you overthink everything and procrastinate, you'll never get started, right? So don't overthink it. Like, it can feel awkward to join organizations and um, clubs and sort of like put yourself out there, right? But I will tell you that don't don't get analysis paralysis. Don't overthink it. Don't overestimate yourself. Just jump in. Just jump in. If you did something new before, you can do it again, right? You did something new before, you can do it again. If I did it, you can do it. If she did it, you can do it. If he did it, you can do it. We all started out as babies in the world, and we all had to find our way to different ways of being. We all started out with the same amount of knowledge, just blank, right? So don't allow yourself to get stuck overthinking it. And if you find that's where the good people come in. That's where the good people come in. Because you call me and you're like, hey, I feel stuck, LaVada. I don't feel confident enough to sort of take that leap to join that organization. And I'm like, okay, well, join this one with me. And I can introduce you around, right? You don't have to operate on the island by yourself, right? So, you know, don't overthink it. Don't get analysis paralysis. Get unstuck, right? Uh, it's all right, right? Go back to the good people when you feel that way. Okay. Now that you unstuck and you're not overthinking it anymore, you're just going to do it, right? Here's the last one. Number seven, believe you can. Gotta believe you can. You gotta believe you can build up your confidence. Okay. You have to believe it, right? Work on your belief. Use the tools and techniques that you have read about. Many of you are reading about tools and techniques all the time, especially if you lack confidence in certain areas and you lack leadership confidence. People will make you doubt yourself, but you got to believe you can do all these things or you won't do them, right? It has to start with belief. You have to believe that you can, right? Um, and I keep saying go back to the good people because if you're suffering from lack of belief, then that's when, hey, that phone call, hey, LaVada, I'm working on some of the things you said. I'm trying to get more knowledge. I'm trying to pour positivity into myself. I'm just drained. I don't know. I don't believe I can do it. And that's when the good people say, yes, you can, because I believe in you, right? And sometimes I might even have to believe in you for that period of time when you don't believe in yourself. But the fact that you made that phone call says that deep down inside, you're working on your belief. You know you deserve this, right? Um, for some of these things that I mentioned, I guess maybe for all of them, my homework for you is to take the seven, right, and then start writing down ways. Maybe write down at least 5 to 7 ways in each of the seven categories that you can start to work on yourself to build your leadership confidence in those categories, right? So, 7 ways you can pour into yourself positively. 7 ways you can surround yourself with good people, right? 7 bad people you need to get rid of, right? Up to 7 bad people. Um, 7 organizations that you might want to join or clubs, right? 7 ways you can get more knowledge, right? Um, 7 ways you need to work on your analysis paralysis or overthinking. Maybe 7 things you always overthink and ways you can improve them, right? Some books you can read to help you with that. Some techniques you can use, right? Do your research, right? And then 7 ways you can help increase your belief, right? So, start to work on those things and you will start to build your leadership confidence, right? And your confidence overall, really, in life. You can do it. I'm one of the good people. I'm here trying to tell you stay positive, sis. Stay positive, bro. Right? You got this. Um, People will try you, right? People will try you. And you got to be able to build up um the armor against you know what's out there, what is might be working against your leadership prowess. Whether you have your own business, right, or you have or you're leading inside of an organization, right? Leadership is could be hard, right? Or if you're just leading yourself, right? Because self leadership is a thing, right? We all lead ourselves. So okay, y'all have a good rest of your day. Uh, Good night. This is nighttime now here where I am. And I'm going to see y'all next time, next topic. And be good, be blessed, be careful.